Happy Halloween!
Woo! It's Halloween. You can see we are in costume.
If you haven't heard, it's spooky season, and we're getting extra spooky tonight.
We're Captain Morgan. I'm
I'm Captain Morgan.
Yeah.
Ooh, Gray.
And I'm the rum.
It's evacuating.
Yeah. Gray's like, I'm over this shit already.
It's like these people are
this
weird.
is going to, I feel like we should do like a drinking game. Every time this top piece falls down in front of my face, we just take a drink because it's already happened like 5 times. I'm going to get sick of it and push it down pretty soon.
Yeah. It's going to be a really fast game.
Yeah. You know what? I didn't even look up yet. I'll have to look it up as we're talking, but our Mandela fact.
Is there any spooky ones?
I don't know. I'm trying to think.
Spooky.
And I'm not really good doing that right now. So, let's see. So, you got anything fun to tell me right now while I'm looking?
I went to brunch today, which was fun.
And that looked amazing. Like your
I went to brunch in the city. And then quickly proceeded to leave the city before the Phillies game started.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah.
Which was good because they ended up winning.
They won. Did you see that they're already starting to grease the
they were
the
doing
light
that
poles and stuff
so early this afternoon?
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious. I can't.
I'm sure Philly right now is wild.
A mess. Yeah, it's just as like if they were to win the World Series, there's people all in the streets and whatnot. So
I know, but this is the first time they're in since
2008
or 9.
I thought it was 2008, but it could be 2009.
I saw something today that said 2009, but I thought the shirt that I own says 2008.
I thought Mandela effect.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, I think it is 2008 though.
But yeah, it was exciting. I was following it. I don't sport that often.
No.
What did you do today?
I did nothing. I've been feeling miserable. Like I was tired today. I didn't do anything. TMI, but like I start my lady cycle next week, so I'm like already just like don't fucking talk to me. And then I don't know. This week sucked, like work wise. So, yeah, I did nothing, and it was great.
I was really tired this week too. I must be starting my lady cycle as well.
We synced.
But I actually thought I was getting sick because Thursday I for some reason just felt drained. After work I jumped in the bed and I didn't wake up until 8:30. And I woke up the next day and I was fine.
That doesn't sound like super early though.
No, but I mean like I could have kept sleeping. Like I couldn't stay up anymore.
Okay.
But I was gonna say something else. I forgot.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling that great on Friday either. But
and yesterday I had a migraine, which is not fun.
Yeah, you did say that.
But I took a pill and I recovered.
Good to know. And you went out and got happy hour this morning.
Brunch,
same thing. Well, speaking on that note, we well, this is coming out on Wednesday. So for you guys tomorrow, for us, it will be this Thursday, but we have our second I can't with this thing anymore. Okay. We have oh my God, it's getting really hot in here too. Anyways,
we gotta keep going.
we have our second happy hour coming up. So if you are a Patreon subscriber, or if you want to be a Patreon subscriber for our happy hour after hour tier, we have our second happy hour coming up. I think last time we had like 8 people involved. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was probably like 8 to 10. People would cycle in and out.
Coming in and out and stuff. And I think like we had it planned. We're like, yeah, it's not going to run past an hour. It was a 3-hour thing. Yeah. We like on the Eastern time coast, we did not get done till 11 at night, which was a little too late. I might try to, yeah, I might try to shorten it this time, but it was really fun. Like I do not regret it.
It was a good time
at all. That is coming up again. So if you would like to join our happy hour after hours Zoom call, whatever, sign up for our Patreon, and anybody who is in that tier on Patreon level, you will get an invite. Yeah. So
see you Thursday.
Yeah, I'm excited. This whole weekend's gonna be good though, because you got that, and then we have What's Friday? I feel like something's Friday, but I just don't remember.
I don't think I have anything going on Friday.
What is Friday's date?
28th.
I don't fucking know. Anyways, then we have on the 29th is the local bar that we go to. They're having their Halloween party. So that'll be an all night thing. And then Sunday.
Start taking your Excedrin now.
Yeah. And then I'm really disappointed this year that Halloween falls on Monday.
Yeah.
Do you guys do anything? Because you live in an apartment.
I don't do anything. I mean, in my living vicinity, but I usually go to my old boss's house and drink with her while she hands out candy.
Okay. We were talking about bringing like the fire pit out front on the driveway and hand out well, we're not handing out candy. I have stickers and I have glow sticks for the kids. I feel like it's a safety thing. They can light up so cars can hit them. But so we're gonna hand out that and we're gonna put the projector on the garage and watch a movie and stuff out in the driveway while everybody can pass. So I think that'll be fun. Order pizza, I like Halloween as an adult just to sit and watch.
I like Halloween so much more as an adult because I didn't really like it as a kid.
No?
I mean, I don't really eat a lot of candy. I never ate a lot of candy. Like candy's not my thing. Like I like if you gave me a bag of pretzels, I'd be like all over that. But
that's why those are my favorite houses. The pretzels, the chips, the Doritos. Like those are the good things.
And I just was never
the Reese's. The Reese's are always good
Reese's
too.
Are an exception.
But I remember Halloween, like we used to like go around with a couple families and stuff like that. And I remember certain years my dad would be like, "Hey, do you want to still go out?" And we would leave, and like just the two of us would go find another development and then just like go trick or treating and stuff like that. And we'd stay out till like all porch lights were going off. It was great. So it was just the two of us. So that's how I always remember Halloween. But
that's nice.
Yeah, it was a good memory. I'm already got the thing down on my head.
My parents were like, thank God they don't want to do it. Like,
you didn't go out really as a kid?
I did, and then I didn't want to do it anymore. And my mom and dad were just like, thank God they don't have to take me anymore. So then so when Halloween comes around, all the lights off in the house. They hide.
They're that family.
Yes,
I get it. No, just kidding.
Which is fine. I do the same thing, but now I go out to go to somewhere.
Will you go to your friends' house?
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of too, guess what I bought for Halloween? So
a giant Captain Morgan costume.
Yes, I hate this thing already. But we bought we didn't buy a fire pit. We have a fire pit. Like I said, we're gonna bring it out to the driveway. So I bought that like powder that you dump into your fire and it makes your fire like rainbow.
Oh, that's cool.
I know. I'm really excited to try it. So we're gonna see what happens. But yeah, I'll be sending you some Snapchats and stuff of a colorful rainbow fire. But
cool. I hopefully no kids fall into it.
No, we'll pull like caution tape. Like somebody died here already.
You can't come up here. Throw the glow sticks at them.
Speaking of, I know I sort of told you the story, or I was telling somebody else and you were listening, but I've got a story for you.
I'm ready.
Okay. So I guess it was like right after we released our last episode.
Yeah, I saw the snaps.
Yes. So
I was
trying to keep everybody updated with what was happening.
Yeah.
But I was working late that night and my boyfriend got home and everything, and he's like, "What's going on outside? There's like 5 cop cars." I was like, "I don't know." So I came out, looked out the front window, and there was like all down the street, and there was like a bunch of cops standing in the driveway across the street from us in the house. And I am over here. I lately have been on a murder documentary, like binge. So I'm like, "Oof, let's figure out what's happening." And I'm like recording shit. I'm like Nancy Drew over here in this house trying to figure out what's going on. But I'm not the only one, because I
should have bought a cop costume for Halloween and walked out there.
I'm not the only one though, because I looked down the street and there's like 2 houses down from this house. There's they have like a window that like butts out in front of their house. Window. Thank you. Yeah, that. And the family's like, I feel like I'm scratching my microphone now. The family is sitting inside the window, staring down the street, like trying to figure out what's happening.
I would be doing the same thing.
Yeah. So I'm all here taking notes and stuff, going back to work, come back out 5 minutes later, checking what's happening. So at one point in the night, we see them setting up some sort of privacy screening in front of the garage door of our neighbor's house. We're like, what the hell's going on? Like, something's happening. So otherwise they wouldn't set up privacy screening. So I about an hour later after they set this up, the Camden County Prosecutor's Office shows up in like a big truck and everything like that. And of course they fucking block my view from the whole scene of what's happening over here. I'm just trying to do some police detective work from afar here. Anyways, so
I know, I was waiting for the updates.
I can see the garage door, but I don't have a clear enough view to see inside what's going on. So once the prosecutors get there, they go up, they're talking to the police for a little bit. At this point, it's like maybe 7:30-ish, so it is dark. And they decided to move the privacy screen completely in front of the garage door. And then the garage door goes up. So we can't see what's happening in there. But there's flashes. Like photos are being taken. There's a crime scene in front of my face. I don't know what is the crime scene. I still don't know what happened. But after all the photos were being done, they moved the curtain, and they had a stretcher. Somebody was being pulled out of the garage. He was like obviously dead. He had the cloth over his face and everything like that. So we're speculating a couple things here. And by all means, just in case anybody's listening, this is not disrespectful. This is just me being way too curious. But what I think happened is the man might have had a heart attack in his garage. He was an older man.
He lived by himself, right?
He did. Yeah. Yes, he was an older man. I think he might have had a heart attack in his garage. And his family, because his family was there, family just kept showing up and stuff. And they were all outside drinking and stuff like that, I guess. But I think one of the family members might have just gone over to do a wellness check because he wasn't answering his phone. And when they pulled up, they found him. And because it was a few days, they had to have, I guess, the prosecutor's office and everything go out to make sure that he died of natural causes. He didn't die of like a murder or anything like that. Or there's a possibility that like because he was alone, and I'm hoping this is not the case, but maybe it was like he hung himself or killed himself in the garage, which is also another reason for the prosecutors, the privacy screen, all of that stuff. Now, it was not unheard of for him to be in his garage. He fed the stray cats and stuff inside his garage, so his garage door was always left up. But I don't know. I've never seen any reports and stuff. Somebody did post on one of the township pages about what's happening, and people were starting to put some like really rude comments in there. So I think that the administrators took that post down. But I'm like, like let's all be adults here. Like this is not something to like play around with.
Yeah.
Somebody passed away. So like, can we just be serious? Like, I'm sorry for your loss. Like what you actually think could have happened. It's not a joke. So, but that was a crazy night. That was my story.
Yeah, you don't see that every day.
No, I was like, what the hell's going on? Meanwhile, I'm trying to get shit together for work. It's like 7:30 at night, and I'm like, Sue, I gotta go. But I don't know. Yeah, I was like, I can't do this. I got a crime scene going on out here.
I gotta solve a crime.
But yeah, you definitely saw the flashes because at that point it was still dark too. So you saw the flashes. They were taking pictures of the crime scene and everything like that. But like I said, a crime scene might have just been a man who's been there for a few days with a heart attack. But that was weird. I mean, we live in a very nice, like quiet neighborhood. Stuff like that doesn't happen. So when it does, you're like, holy shit. So
yeah, someone's dead.
But yes, so that was my not a Halloween story, but that was just a story. So
did you bring up a Mandela effect?
I just brought up a random one. At this point, I can't even figure out which ones we talked about yet. I don't think we talked about this one yet.
As long as it's not Fruit Loops.
But I have heard this one before.
Okay.
And I have not read it, so I'm trying to look at the photos to figure out which one is which. So, double stuffed Oreos. Is it 2 F's or 1? Like double STUF or STUFF?
1 F.
See, looking at the photos, I'm going to go with 2. 2 looks right. So, let's see. If you're trying to tell us there isn't a second F in stuff, our lives have officially been a lie. God, they really have to do better with their descriptions on these. I can't figure out what the hell they're trying to say.
Is it confusing again?
If you're trying to tell us there isn't a second F in stuff, our lives have officially been a lie. The fuck does that mean?
Read it again.
If you're trying to tell us there isn't a second F in stuff, our lives have officially been a lie.
So there's one F.
Now I gotta research it. Hold on. Double.
Because it said if you're trying to tell us that there is not a second F, then our life has been a lie. So they're saying that there is one.
I don't know. There's only one.
I know. I got it right.
That is not right.
It is right.
This is wrong.
It's right.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Let me find an actual image that I can zoom in because, like, I have not been able to do that so far yet. Good. Stop asking me to do stuff on here. I hate when these do it, like pop up after pop up after pop up. I had that Meghan Trainor song stuck in my head. You know what I mean?
The new one.
The new one, yeah. I actually really like it.
Her whole CD came out.
I've only heard that one so far.
Look on
What?
GoPuff's website.
That's what I had pulled up too, but I couldn't like zoom in on
Double
the picture.
stuff with one F.
Yeah, I don't like the way that looks. I can't. If I feel like I'm gonna hold on.
Like I'm gonna reject that.
I'm trying to zoom in.
Double stuff.
Eek.
Because I guess it's double stuff Oreos, not.
Wait, nope. Yeah, there you go. That's it. That doesn't look right.
Because it's double stuff, not stuffed past tense. Like,
I'm like talking with my back to the microphone.
because if it would have two F's if it was past tense for ED.
I don't know.
Double stuff.
My life has been a lie.
It has.
All right. So we have, since it is Halloween, we have our second round of Halloween conspiracies, stories, legends, urban legends.
Mm-hmm.
So
We're continuing with the spooky theme.
what did you go with? Are you a conspiracy, a legend, or
Today I brought to you a spooky story based on my attire.
love that, Captain Morgan?
Yes. I just brought you my receipts from the liquor store, actually. And how much money I spent,
That's our expense.
which was
report,
really
our
spooky.
expense report. Well, should we see who goes first?
Okay.
All right.
Ready.
Best 2 out of 3.
I can barely move in this, so.
Okay, ready?
Ready?
Rock.
Hold up. Yeah, okay.
Good now.
Are
right.
you?
No, I'm not. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Mm.
Damn it. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Okay. You won.
I'm just like psychic.
You are.
Okay.
I think it's rigged, but that's
So-
besides the point.
You think it's Speaking of my psychic abilities, my story is actually on the Ouija board.
Ooh.
So I have the legend of the Ouija
Wait, can I
board.
tell you something
No.
spooky? I mean, not spooky, but funny from
Yes,
TikTok
go for it.
about the Ouija board. It was you probably might have even seen it. It was a mom, and she put, oh my God, shut up. It was a mom, and her daughter sent her a voice note because she didn't, I guess, answer her phone call.
Mhm.
And it said, "Hey mom, I know the only reason why you didn't answer the phone is because you're dead. So I'll start planning your funeral and I'll Ouija you later." Bye. I thought it was so funny. I don't know why.
Like, because like her mom normally answers her phone calls and stuff. So
Well,
she's
it was
like,
the I'll Ouija you later part,
oh.
which made me laugh for just no apparent reason. Okay, so hit me with the
All right.
Ouija
So I got
board.
about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sources. I got a little bit of everything going on here. So my first is the SmithsonianMag.com. Good old Wikipedia. I have guides.lock.gov, thenerdist.com, vox.com, allthat'sinteresting.com, and villains.fandom.com, which I'm going to have to search that one a little bit more because I thought I saw a lot of stuff on there that I actually liked.
I love when doing research and you find something, you're like, I'm call back to this website.
Yeah, exactly. So, God, this is getting really hot. Anyways, So what is a Ouija board? The Ouija board is also known as a spirit board or a talking board and is a flat board marked with letters of the Latin alphabet, the numbers 0 through 9, the words yes, no, occasionally hello and goodbye, along with various symbols and graphics. It uses a planchette, which is a small heart-shaped piece of wood or plastic, as a movable indicator to spell out messages during a seance. Participants place their fingers on the planchette, and it is moved about the board to spell words.
Can you move your mic just
like that?
And a little over if you're going to look at your thing. There you go.
Okay. Now I can't see that. Is that better?
Just so you're talking into it.
Okay. God. Anyways. According to the Smithsonian Magazine, the Ouija board stems from spiritualism. Of course, the idea is something that has existed on a global scale for thousands of years, but it became quite predominant in the United States during the 19th century when childbirth, war, and disease, among some other things, led to shorter lifespans and frequent deaths. Many people desire a pathway to connect to lost loved ones and get answers to unresolved issues and questions. And of course, it wouldn't be the American way if someone didn't try to find a way to further capitalize on the popularity of seances and personal pain. Like,
I have no desire to touch a Ouija board. I don't.
No, I really don't. I love watching when people do.
I don't want to talk to anything.
I don't want to do it myself. Nope, I'm good. Like most American origin stories, there's a lot of messiness behind the Ouija board's beginnings. In 1886, Charles Kennard of Baltimore, Maryland, didn't care about the spiritualist movement, but he did see a profitable business opportunity. The businessman teamed up with a coffin maker / undertaker, E.C. Ritchie, a Prussian immigrant looking to produce their own wooden boards. But Kennard started looking for investors. He took credit for the invention, cutting out Ritchie. From there, it received its official name in 1890 in Baltimore, where it was first manufactured. Since the Ouija's inception, newspaper reports on its use as a way to communicate with the dead, predict catastrophes, solve mysteries, and even commit crimes. Which I can't think of an example where it was used to commit a crime.
Yeah, I was trying to think too. Like,
so the only
they're maybe asking the spirits to help break in.
Well, so the only thing that I'm thinking, and now it's getting really low. So the only thing that I'm thinking is get aggressive. is there is, and I'll kind of get into this later on in my research, but there is a demon that's supposed to be attached to the Ouija boards. So maybe
every single one.
It's a demon that comes through the Ouija boards. Yes. So my thought is that maybe this demon convinces the people playing to commit crimes, and that's where they were going with it.
It's Momo.
I hate every bit of that story.
Me too. And I had to listen to it a couple times editing it. I was like,
okay, there we go. That's better.
God, I can't wait to listen to that later.
All right, so in the beginning, TV shows just took a jovial approach to the Ouija boards. I Love Lucy episode The Seance depicts Lucy faking a seance to find favor with a businessman. Interestingly, the change in attitudes towards Ouija boards stems from none other than The Exorcist in 1973. The supposedly based on a true story horror flick about a girl who was possessed by a demon after playing with the Ouija board both scared the fear of hell into people. It also didn't help that The Exorcist's release came at an already uneasy time in America. People were still reeling from the Manson cult murders of the late 1960s and the rise of serial killer sprees like culprits like the Zodiac and the Alphabet Killers, which I don't think I know the Alphabet Killers. I might have to look that one up. Who seemed to use rituals patterns in their murders. This was also the beginning of the modern sadism through Anton LaValle. or LaVey, excuse me, who wrote the Satanic Bible and found that the Church of Satan in 1966. People like John Todd and David Hansen began to plant the ideas that evil witchy cults run the world. So a film with spiritual possession and green vomit spewing all over the place absolutely played further into those fears. Now, like everything crazy, there's always scientific explanations as to why things work the way they work.
A demon.
So the scientific explanation behind an Ouija board is the fact that there is a mysterious mechanism that powers Ouija boards called, and now it looks like it's pronounced the idiomotor or idiometer.
Okay.
So we're gonna go with that one because I can say that one better.
Take your word for it. I don't know.
Yes. They actually have the pronunciations in here too, but pronunciations don't help me at all. I'm just gonna be honest.
No.
Anyway, the idiomotor. I still can't say it.
The idiot motor.
That affects is an example of unconscious, involuntary physical movement. That is when we move, we're not when God, I can't talk. We move when we are not trying to move. If you've ever experienced the sudden feeling of jerking awake from a sleep, known as hypnotic jerk, you've experienced a more abrupt version of the idiometer effect. Your brain is signaling to your body to move without a conscious awareness. The obvious difference is that your idiometer effect happens when you're awake, so the reflexive movements are much smaller. So basically what they're trying to say is you are basically thinking of an answer in your head. Well, this moving when you're not actually moving is causing you to push it towards the letters that you actually wanted to say. If you wanted to say the answer no, it's going to push it to an N and then an O. It's just your mind. Your mind playing tricks with you. This is going to be a really fun episode.
Yeah, I can't wait.
So, like I was saying earlier, there is a demon that is supposed to be associated with the Ouija boards, and it comes through as the name Zozo. So,
Momos.
The demon allegedly summoned through the Ouija boards and other forms of spiritual communication like seances. He is a symbolism of Christianity's fear, objection to the occult. Zozo is actually a fallen angel banished from heaven eons ago by God. He is rumored to have been the demon who possessed Roland Doe when he was a boy, and I didn't put it in here, and I'm really mad, but I think he was one of the first people possessed by a Ouija board.
Yes, and he's also, if you listen to the last episode of Stumble Upon, he's also the person that The Exorcist is based on, the movie.
There we go.
He's the true story that it's based on.
Okay.
And I remember that because I just listened to the episode, but I laughed a little because his name's Roland Doe, and it's like Rolling
Doe.
No, like Roland from Schitt's Creek.
Oh. What was his last name in Schitt's Creek? Roland.
Shit. Wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah.
I can't fucking remember. Anyways.
Yeah, their whole family had like those weird type of name. His dad had something too. Yeah, because that's why it was called Schitt's Creek.
Okay.
But yeah, he's the Roland Doe is the person that.
So now we're all starting to come back around. Okay, gotcha. So, oh my God, it literally says it in the next line.
Whoops. Spoilers.
Yeah, right. Anyway, he is rumored to have been the demon who possessed Zozo. Who possessed Roland Doe when he's a boy, used a Ouija board. Zozo and the possession were written about in a book called The Exorcist under the name Pazuzu, which in turn inspired the modern version of Pazuzu who comes from Babylonian culture. So Zozo is often said to mimic the voices of the dead who use the Ouija board, which to talk to. He is cruel, sadistic demon who likes preying on people's insecurities and fears. He often delights in telling them they will die soon and is often brutally misogynistic hallucinogenic. Sorry, I lost my spot. He loves to pretend that he is other spirits, oftentimes pretending he is 3 different spirits at once.
He's multi-talented.
I guess he acts like he's having a conversation, but it's always him. This is how I'm taking that.
Like, yeah, your mom said this.
Now, one of the first forums that were speaking about Zozo online is from a man named Darren Evans. Now, this is his experience with the Ouija board and what he and his interaction with Zozo, which I find it eerily creepy. So Darren Evans told a story about the Zozo demon for the first time on March 24th, 2029, on an online forum for true ghost stories. He explained how the first time he had an encounter with the demon, the Ouija board went wild and flew between the letters Z and O, frantically spelling Zozo. Zozo said it had come to take Evan's family to paradise. Evan asked where paradise was, and the plastic arrow, known as the planchette, moved once more, slowly spelling out the word hell. Evan reported how he felt the urge to rush up into the bathroom where his girlfriend had been giving their 1-year-old daughter a bath. His girlfriend was gone, the tub was overflowing, and his daughter was drowning. Though he managed to rescue her in time, Evan claims that the demon was responsible for sending his daughter to the hospital later with an unexplainable ear infection.
Zozo.
So
knock it off.
That's my story. I think Zozo in itself can become a bigger part of
that'd be something interesting to look more into.
There's a lot of Zozo encounters and stuff like that. I myself have never used a Ouija board.
I will not.
They scare me.
Yeah.
I don't want anything to do with trying to bring in a negative spirit into my home or anything like that. So I'm okay not communicating with the dead. I love you while you're here, and after you pass on, I'll see you at another point, but I am not going to try to communicate in the meantime. Yeah. So that's my thing. I don't want to run into a Zozo.
No,
Zozo. But I will let you take it from here and let me know what story you got. I'm about to rip his damn costume off my body.
Well,
I hate this.
Mine's also short, so you're good. You'll survive. Okay. So since I am a pirate, IRL, and right now, I decided to look up just some pirate stories, some ghost stories, and I came across one called Blackbeard's Ghost. So
this gives me already SpongeBob vibes.
Like the Flying Dutchman.
Yeah.
I was gonna do the Flying Dutchman, but I didn't. Or Davy Jones. I was like, I'll do Blackbeard. I feel like he doesn't get enough love.
I feel like you're giving me Blackbeard vibes.
It's my whole aesthetic. I've been waiting for this moment my whole life to be Blackbeard. Okay, so Blackbeard's Ghost on. The second word I'm gonna mispronounce already. Ocracoke is like Ocracoke Island. Is a small channel of water known as Teach's Hole. This inlet is reported to be the spot where the pirate Edward Teach, better known as Blackbeard, preferred to anchor his ship. It's also said to be where he met his end, and some say his ghost haunts the spot to this day.
And where did you say this was? Like what state?
I'm going to tell you in a second.
Oh, okay.
Blackbeard roamed the Atlantic from around 1716 to 1718, which is not a lot of time for, like, I feel how big of a story.
2 years?
Yeah, 2 years. But I guess, scurvy. People don't live that long. Robbing ships from the West Indies to the Carolinas. He had a reputation for unbridled ferocity. When Blackbeard went into battle, he strapped multiple pistols and multiple cutlasses to his body. Most frightening of all, he waved fuses into his long black beard and set them on fire just before he stepped onto a captured ship. The towering figure, armed to the teeth, sporting a sparkling flaming beard, must have been absolutely terrifying. Ship's captains would surrender without a shot ever being fired. Blackbeard's reign on the high seas came to an end on November 22nd, 1718. Virginia Governor Alexander Spotswood sent a ship commanded by John Maynard down to the North Carolina coast to track down and kill Blackbeard. Maynard surprised Blackbeard and a skeleton crew anchored at Teach's Hole in the ferocious battle that followed. Blackbeard was shot 5 times and stabbed no less than 20. The pirate crew was all killed or captured. Blackbeard's head was cut off, chopped, and hung from the bowsprit of Maynard's ship. The pirate's headless body was thrown overboard. Legend has it that the headless body swam around Maynard's ship 3 times before sinking into the waters.
It seems a little excessive.
They want to make sure he's dead. Ever since then, it's been said that Blackbeard's ghost haunts the spot known as Teach's Hole. Many people have reported seeing a strange light moving beneath the water in the cove. This ghostly light is thought by some to be Blackbeard's spirit swimming through the waters searching for his missing head. And he was from North Carolina, to answer your question. There are those who believe that on stormy nights you can hear Blackbeard's voice calling out in the wind. On nights when the angry wind is roaring and the hard rain coming down, many people have heard a horrible roaring coming from this hidden cove. They say that it's an unearthly noise that sounds like a pained human voice bellowing, "Where's my head?"
See, that would creep me out if I was in the ocean by myself and I hear talking.
And I'd be like, "I don't know, Blackbeard. Go back to your cove." While his reign of terror on the seas was short, Blackbeard's legacy lives on in the legends of North Carolina. We're also learning even more about his frightening pirate day. Let me start over. We're also learning even more about his frightening pirate. Wow. I'm forgetting one word every time.
I do the same thing.
We're also learning even more about this frightening pirate every day, ever since the discovery of the wreck of the Queen Anne's Revenge, which I believe was his ship.
Okay.
I probably should have done a little more research into that, but archaeologists and historians have been working on recovering and restoring artifacts from this sunken ship captained by the notorious pirate. Yeah, I guess it was. And we should read further. And we're discovering fascinating details of what life was like on an 18th century pirate ship. While Blackbeard's viciousness has gone down in history, these stories may be a fact of history being written by the winners. Except for the final battle, there's no record of Blackbeard ever having killed anyone. The show with the massive arsenal and flaming beard may have been deliberately designed to avoid a fight. Blackbeard seems to have understood that having a reputation for being a bloodthirsty, murderer could save you from the trouble of actually having to be a bloodthirsty murderer. He's kind of smart.
Yeah.
And while pirates are considered the bad guys of history, it's hard not to sympathize with the pirates over the British Navy. Pirate crews were better treated and better paid than Navy crews. Furthermore, pirate crews were on their ships by choice, as opposed to the Navy crews, many of whose members would have been pressed into service. Pirate ships were also essentially democratic institutions. The pirate captain would be elected by the crew and generally selected on the basis of competence and fairness as a leader. The captain's decisions on where and when to sail would be put to a vote, and his authority became absolute only during battle. This was a stark contrast to the British Navy at the time, where the captaincy of a ship was based more on being born to the right family than on any ability to competently lead a crew, which is kind of cool. It's also important to remember what the pirates were stealing and from whom. A large portion of the vessels passing through the Atlantic at this time were holding enslaved human beings as cargo. When intercepting a slave ship, pirate crews would routinely free those otherwise destined for a life of unimaginable misery.
See, I would never think about all this for a pirate. You just hear the bad stuff, but it sounds like they were kind of like.
I love pirates. Pirates of the Caribbean is one of my favorite series.
Yeah. See, I'm not a huge fan.
These men would be offered the opportunity to join the ship's crew with any chances of there being any. Let me try that again. With chances of their being able to return home being tragically short, it's an offer many of them took up. Records show that as many as half of any given pirate ship crew in the early 18th century would have been composed of freed Africans. Even Blackbeard's trusted second in command, who died fighting with him at Teach's Hold, was one of these men, known to us only as Black Caesar.
I kind of like that name.
Me too. While many pirates did kill and plunder, they were killing and plundering from people who were themselves killing, plundering, enslaving, and exploiting lands which had been invaded and were held by force. What seemed to offend the authorities so much about the pirates was not their tactics, but that somebody else was getting a cut of their action. Wasn't a spooky story, but
it's interesting.
It's interesting to think about.
It's a different perspective that I ever thought of I would have for a pirate.
Yeah.
Like you always get told like they're just robbing everybody, but it sounds like they were better than that.
Well, yeah, because just like victory is always written by the winners.
But
they're not the police or the Navy. They're not going to be like, these pirates are good people.
Back to like the spooky part of that whole story. If I ever heard a random voice,
oh yeah, but not
in the sea, and it was gone. You can't go anywhere.
Gone. I'd be gone.
You're going just as fast as you've been going.
I would learn to walk on water. I would be out of there.
No, I'm good.
I'd be like one of those lizards that runs so fast. Like black.
They look like they're swimming. Yeah.
Yeah, like the Jesus lizards. I'll be running across that water.
The Jesus lizards.
Blackbeard is not going to get me today. No, siree.
No, see, like I love watching that type of stuff on YouTube or on TV. Or I do not want to experience it for myself. Like I'll watch all the ghost stories in the world about people who have had encounters. Do I want an encounter myself? No, not really.
No, same. Yeah, there's been a lot of mediums on my TikTok recently.
Yeah, I like it though. See, mediums are not as creepy to me.
They're not. I follow a couple of them. Well, no, I actually only follow one. No, I do. I follow two. I follow one, and I follow Teresa Caputo.
Oh, yeah. Well, she's. I don't know.
I don't know if she's real.
I don't know if I trust her.
But the one that I do follow, I believe that she can do all that stuff.
What's her name?
I'll tell you after. I don't remember.
Okay.
I have to look at my TikTok, but yeah, between all the white women and their pyramid schemes of fizzing rings and opening.
Oh my god, those are
opening oysters.
Wait, the one that bothers me the most is when you go on and you see like all of these people like digging in sand or digging in this, and they scoop up like a chapstick and some shitty dollar store lashes or whatever it is, and they're like, "Oh, look at all this shit you want." I was like, stuff that I could buy in the junk pile in the dollar store for $3.
I'm watching all these things, and I'm like,
this is all I have to do to make money now? Like what? Well,
I'm just waiting because all of that is like technically gambling.
Is it?
People are paying money. It's a game.
I guess because you don't know what you're going to receive.
They're participating in a game of chance.
Yeah. Which
is gambling and heavily regulated. So I'm waiting for.
That's true. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how long it's going to last.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like it's lasting because
it's annoying.
I thought I got away from it, and then all of a sudden my lives are they're back.
You used to get something else too, or was it the pearl thing that we were discussing?
I always seem to get those women, and they're like fizzing the rings.
That yes, because we've talked about that before. Like a bunch of old women, they're like playing with bath bombs and water, and they're like, "Oh, look at this ring that you want. I'll send it to you.
Join my multi-level marketing scheme.
Yeah,
here's a ring." And now is that like you said the sand scooping, and of crystals and the oysters. Like people are like shucking oysters for
the pearls.
Yeah.
You know which ones I do, and these
People are
aren't
like
really
opening
like
oysters on their desk. I'm like,
I get a lot of like live videos. There's a guy who makes, I think it's a guy, and there's a guy who does one, and there's like this woman who does the other, but they make rugs. It is
I
the most
do like.
fascinating thing I've ever seen. They'll like make like Pokemon card like
I
rugs
follow
or
that guy.
something.
I follow him.
And like the process in itself, and then when he's done, it looks flawless. It is so like I could sit and watch that for hours, but just the whole process in itself, I was
It's
like,
cool.
I want to try
I know.
it.
I was like, can I make rugs?
I know. Or then there's other people who have those like rings that are like this, and then they crank it,
Oh, the
and
knitting.
it makes the
Yeah.
knitting like infinity scarves and stuff like that. I'm like, that looks
That's
really
cool,
cool
yeah.
too. So some of it is neat.
Some of it's cool. I really don't care what ring this person's gonna win, but
No, because I'm not getting it.
and I wish there was a way to like say I don't want to see this. Like
I know the lives, but here's the thing: I love watching TikToks, and then like if you scroll every so often, and a freaking live, pops
live
up. And I'm
pops
like,
up.
I know. If I wanted to watch a live, I'd go onto the live page.
Yeah,
like keep it off my For You,
or at least recommend me something I want to watch. I've never clicked on this in my life.
You know what else is weird? And I've been watching people make yarn.
Oh,
like
that's
they
cool.
will put like
one strand at a time.
They will shear the sheeps and everything. They will dye certain colors of it, certain things, and then they will mix it together on the. It looks like a pet brush, like ones with like the shiny little like prongs and stuff, and they will brush it onto that, and then
I have
they
seen this.
keep
I have
doing
seen
it.
this. Yeah,
and then at some point they cut it off. They pull it all off, so they've got like a sheet of like fuzz. And then they spin it, and it's just really cool
I have
to
seen that
watch.
before.
Yeah.
I started following this guy who does tie dyes like crazy.
I know where you're going with this because I love him so much.
And it literally was this mass of